dang good once you get the hang of it. Definitely a little learning curve. Tip of the day, make sure this here collar is at the right depth. I have since drilled a hole through it so far, so when you see the blue shavings coming out, you went too deep. It makes it a dang nice pocket hole. Furring strips laid down, ready to glue. Got it framed out around the wheel wells there. Each one kind of cragging them together here with the old pocket hole jig. Works pretty good, which I got the trim piece on the back, brad nail glued together. Got our doors laid out up there. Coming along good. Get the insulation cut, laid in between them all. Get the plywood floor on.
Was an executive pastry chef at McDonald's for 9 years in high school. Learned all my skills.
Well guys, we got the fairings put in the van here. Got them all glued in. Seem to be pretty rock solid. Just used a Loctite brand adhesive in the caulk gun and got them all glued in. Definitely holding pretty good. It was a kind of a several day compiled process having to get them all installed with basically our limiting factor was as many weights as we had to get them put in, but essentially got them glued down. It's holding pretty good. But after I got them in, which there's just a simple unevenness of the contour of the floor of the van, provided a few challenges in terms of the placement and where and the logistics of where to place each one. I wanted to make the runners as long as possible, so I got a little difference in the light, but essentially I got them all glued in, and which, like I say, we got the variance in height of the van. We had the little lip up here where glued this front one, and it was a little bit lower, as with the back there on that back lip, which was just a little bit higher. Probably could have compensated with buying a little bit different thickness in plywood, but didn't try to want to get too complicated. Maybe next time. But all of this is essentially 3/4, 23/32. You can't really buy 3/4 plywood, but want to get it all level. So I've been taking this hand plane, which it's a rasp really, and just planing them down, getting the high spots, as we can see everywhere where the paint's been removed, taking the old 4-foot level here, just running it across wherever I can go, and making sure we're getting you know, ain't got no high spots. We're laying in, you know, maybe a little more tedious process than some use, which there's a different way to do everything, but figured this would be the easiest with what we're doing. We're going to come back with the XPS expanded foam insulation in between. But run back here, we can see on the back how trimmed it and essentially laid it in and cutting to fit each piece to fit in between the peaks and the valleys here. Like I say, this back little lip here, this whole piece kind of transitioned to making it a little bit higher, and simply went in and decked all the pieces down to essentially the same level, getting the whole thing flat. We don't want any peaks and valleys in our floor, making it all good flat surface to work on. And you know, we can get our plywood laid in. We started making the templates, which you see some of the tricks of the trade and the tools here, which, you know, using this contour gauge works pretty good. Definitely a learning curve on figuring out the best way to get it to lay in to the exact spot you put it, but we got this combination square, which was very handy on figuring out the difference in height. So, you know, I was just taking it and putting it on the high one, run it down to where it showed me the difference, you know, and sometimes you'd have that little bit of a 1/16 or an 1/8 of an inch. And these back here, I actually took the router and set my clearance and routed them down and took a lot of the bulk of the material off and then planed them. Show y'all real quick the brands of adhesive I've been using in the priming paint for the runners and the fairings and putting the plywood floorboard and everywhere that we're going to paint, you know, and just seal it off to prevent for mold and keep water out as much as we can with vapor barriers and condensation. But anyway, the Loctite adhesive, which this is a construction, both of them are construction adhesive, which I had initially bought the PL Max here. Not really sure the total difference between either of them, which this one was more expensive, and this one was when I had to go back and buy some more, which it, you know, worked equally as well. I can't tell the difference, you know, pulling on them, but which was availability. They didn't have any more of these, so but 100% solid, so most durable. Well, we'll see. Hopefully it holds good. To note about the primer here and the keels, again, kind of similar situation with the adhesive. The big box store, which got these at Lowe's, the only one they had the first round was the Zenser. It's kind of painted over, I think, but the Bullseye 123 primer. You know, I painted it all, which has not been very warm here lately, but it says you can paint above like 35-40 degrees in it, which I think it was around 50 when I painted all this, but it painted very good. And you know, it didn't quite use the whole little quart to paint all that I got here, which I put 2 coats on it. And then so I bought the keels for, you know, backup if we needed some more, which, you know, we'll touch it up. So, but anyway, so far as worked pretty good. You know, don't have much experience. Yeah, there it is. You can paint it down to 35 degrees. So, which has been pretty chilly here lately. So we'll see. But I think I'm feeling pretty good about it so far, and you know, we can get the foam put in, get the templates cut for the plywood of the floor, and get it going from here.